Roxo Media House.
Ever since I can remember, I was little. My dad used to tell me, like, slow down, like, just chill. Like, we stretching right now, running around the house. Like, I got a few stories. I sprained my ankle just running around the house, like, for no reason. But I don't know. It was just always in me, just growing up, just being a real, energetic kid. And then, that energy, translates on the field because, I love football, obviously. So, I mean, why not give 110% of your effort to something you love? So that's how I feel about it. And
this is Frogs Today Daily. Frog Fall Camp 2022, presented by Dave's Hot Chicken. And here's your host, the voice of the Frogs, Brian Estridge.
Welcome back into Frogs Today Daily here just outside the Morris practice fields. Mark it all, folks. Number 14 in the books now for the Horned Frogs. And the emphasis today, well, it was on situational football. We visited with the head coach as he was making his way off the field today. He said, hey, you're going to see over the next couple of days us put guys in positions and in certain situations to see how they react. Obviously, 2-minute drill will be part of that. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But there are other ways to practice certain situational events that, well, we may not anticipate in a game. But these coaches, they don't leave any stone unturned. And so we'll get into that a little bit later on as David Beaudin will be alongside. Also, in the interview room today, we get to hear from Jordy Sandy, the Frog punter, as we've got a little bit of a special teams theme going today that you'll take note of. And also Quentin Johnston. He will be there as well. As a matter of fact, I'm being told Quentin Johnston is there right now. So the Frog wide receiver making his way to the interview room. Real quick, Mark Tommerdahl, special teams coach for the Horned Frogs. He's going to be by as well. Let's don't miss a minute of the action with Q, though. Here's Quentin Johnston in the interview room right now.
Very, very excited. Very exciting feeling, I should say, as a team. We're starting to come together. Day by day, we feeling stronger as a team on and off the field. I'm gonna keep saying that in every interview on and off the field because that off the field is a big part of what we do on the field. So just an overall exciting feeling. Everybody's having more and more confidence in themselves and our other teammates. So we're looking good right now. I made a little jump, but I still feel like there's a surface I haven't just fully reached yet. And like obviously I'm coming in day in, day out after practice, just working on catches, working on high balls, getting my time right. With all the quarterbacks, not just one of them because you never know who's gonna rotate in and out. Just different situations. So I mean, I definitely feel like I've improved, but I still feel like there's room for more improvement. Yeah, we very talented. This is probably one of the overall biggest receiving groups that probably came in here in a minute. I mean, everybody almost over 6'2". So right now the sky's the limit for us. Obviously, like I said, we still got room for improvement, but we still got a little bit before the game, not too long. But by the time the game comes, we'll be polished up and ready to go. For sure. I mean, from day one, he came to me and told me straight up, like, look, this is what it's gonna be. We're gonna go good on good. I'm here to work. I'm here to get you better. You're here to get me better. So that's what we're gonna do. And shoot, ever since then, it's been competition, good on good, iron sharpens iron. So yeah, it's been great working with him. He knew coming in. I didn't really know what to expect of him at first, but he came in first play, getting it on. So we kind of carried that through camp, and I feel like we've both gotten better going against each other. Just overall understanding tempo, timing, kind of down the distance, like little stuff like that. Because I know, especially me coming in, football is football. So, you got 15 minutes on the clock. All right, we got time to work with. But once the clock starts rolling, you don't have any timeouts. You got to realize where you're at. Realize you got to get out of bounds at a certain time. You got to make a certain catch and get down, immediately instead of fighting for extra yards. So kind of just teaching them to be more disciplined and a moment of chaos. Yeah, for sure. The knob is steadily turning up. Everybody's looking at each other with that. Yeah, it's about that time type of look. So I mean, we take every day, preciously. We watch what we eat, drink, how we sleep, what time we go to sleep, what we do outside. We try to cut, all outside noises off because we know at the end of the day, all we have in this room is all we need for, game after game. So everybody knows their assignment. Everybody knows what we have to do. So we kind of just, step accordingly.
There it is, the terrific wide receiver for the Horned Frogs, Quentin Johnston. By the way, there were a ton of scouts here today. You got to believe that they've got their eye on that wide receiver. When we come back, Mark Tommerdahl, the special teams coordinator for the Horned Frogs, second stint here in Fort Worth. He's a good dude, and he's going to join us next when we continue with Frogs Today Daily after this word from our friends at Dave's Hot Chicken.
Dave's Hot Chicken is a cult favorite and now has 2 locations in Fort Worth, Bryant Irvin Road on I-20 and Berry Street at TCU, both owned and operated by Horned Frogs. Mention the Frogs Today show and get 10% off anytime and order online at daveshotchicken.com.
Frogs Today Daily continues right now. One of the good guys right here now, Mark Tommerdahl, is alongside special teams coordinator of the Frogs. We've talked to Mark a couple of different times. You'll remember him. He had a previous stay here in Fort Worth, and took you a while, but you finally got back to town,
Yes, indeed. Glad to be here.
Yeah, it's a good spot. Today we were talking to Coach Dyke, starting to implement a little situational stuff, he said. You start to look ahead to Colorado, a little special teams work here today. But the thing about it is you guys make that a priority. There's special teams work every day here, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. And I think that's true of any organization in college football. It's that important.
And you and Coach Dykes have been together. You kind of know where you're coming from. He brags on your ability to create some of the circuits that we see that they run through.
Yeah.
Tackle circuit, things like that.
Yeah, it really doesn't come from me. It probably comes from the first time I was here. But everybody's got a different philosophy, and we do try to break it down, particularly technique-wise.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that you do is everybody gets a little stab at it. I mean, we see kickers going through a tackling circuit, offensive linemen, because you just never know, right?
Right. No, everybody's going to use it at one point in the season or not. Something bad is going to happen on offense. We're going to have an interception. Offensive lineman has to make a tackle. So it benefits the whole team.
All right, give me some sense of special teams right now. First off, I want to start with this. When you got here, we had a chance to visit with you early on Frogs Today, and we were talking about this was after spring. What'd you walk into? You've had a chance now to really assess the level of talent here. What'd you inherit?
Well, I think it's public knowledge. We have a lot of speed here,
Yeah.
And there's great special teams tradition at TCU. We have looked at a lot of players, and that's probably been one of the strengths of camp. We've been able to develop some depth that will benefit us in October as the season starts to drag on. We are not polished yet, and that's what we've got to emphasize in the next 2 weeks.
You're talking about the return game more than anything. Their coverage as well, right? But your specialists, when I hear Jordy Sandy and Griffin Kale, Coach tells me they're kicking the ball really good, are they?
We're day to day.
There's a special teams coach right there.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're experienced guys. They've had good camps, but I'm not being negative. You just never look past tomorrow.
Right. Jordy, you've been around a bunch of guys who played in the NFL, though. Both those cats have the ability to play at the next level.
And Jordy is just slightly younger than I am.
Yeah, no,
and so he's really polished and experienced. He's a great guy to have around, not only in the specialist room, if you will, but around the whole team. So he's got a lot of game savvy to him, and it's important to him.
It brings an air of confidence, doesn't it? Jordy Sandy does.
He's been there. He's pretty unflappable, and yet he's driven to do well.
Yeah. And Griffin Kell's a guy that we have seen over the years get stronger. Mm-hmm. That leg seems to get stronger. Range seems to get better.
Yeah, and that's something there again I don't think you take for granted. Yeah. He's had a good camp, and we just got to make sure he does well in the big house.
Right. And you mentioned the speed factor in the return game that has been a plus for TCU over the years. The other thing that stands out to me this year are your I'll call them tight ends and H's. Those guys are big players in special teams, and there's some real talent there.
And it's a great body to have on special teams.
Yeah.
We got many of them, and to be able to play teams with guys in that 240 and upwards range, that's unique in this offense. Mm-hmm. So I've been around some. For lack of a better term, air raid organizations where you don't have that body.
Right.
And so we're very fortunate.
Yeah, and those guys benefit you on special teams, as we're saying. The one battle, and I'm going to call it that, maybe it has been at deep snapper.
Well, we're just not proven there.
Yeah.
And TCU lost a good one last year.
Yeah.
And so Matizik has an active role in the offense.
Yeah.
And he's running with the ones right now. And then we've got a young freshman from Colorado that is just pushing the heck out of Morgan Frederick.
That's a good thing to have, though.
It is.
It's okay to have two guys there.
No doubt.
No telling when you're going to need to anymore. All right, as things starts to get a little closer to Colorado, Coach was saying that you'll start to see a little more situational, and then really the attention turns to the Buffaloes, doesn't it?
Correct, yeah. So what we'll get into now, we're just doing more and more game-like situations as we try to solidify our two deep. And then beginning next week, then we'll start to specifically look at Colorado looks.
Yeah, I know you had a chance. I want to close with this to visit with our coach David Beaudin earlier on the show, and you brought up something that I didn't know about. I want to brag on it. And that's the fact that you volunteer at the Humane Society of North Texas.
We do.
That's important to you.
It's very important. I'm a big dog guy.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate you mentioning that. Yeah. And it's there's a lot of dogs in shelters right now that need good homes. So pick up a dog.
Exactly. Let's do it. Because coming out of COVID especially, right, a lot of folks picked up animals and then they've taken them back.
Yeah, adoption rates were very high during COVID because people were home. And now with the economy, a lot of those dogs are being brought back. Shelters are full.
Yeah.
And I believe this. I've said this before. Pardon me being redundant, but I think every kid needs a dog. I do.
I agree. It makes life better.
Yep.
What do you have at home right now, dog?
We have a shelter mutt by the name of Bob.
Bob, okay.
And then we have a beautiful English lab by the name of Seeger.
Seeger. Bob Seeger. I
Yes,
love
indeed.
it.
Yes, indeed.
What do you say we turn the page? You want to do that?
How about that, man?
We can
Well
do that.
said.
All
Well
right.
said.
That is Mark Tommerdahl joining us here, special teams coordinator for the Horned Frogs. We're going to the interview room next, where Quentin Johnston is standing by, and you heard Coach mention Jordy Sandy. Yeah, the elder statesman is in the interview room. We'll hear from the punter when we continue here with another edition of Frogs Today Daily, presented by Dave's Hot Chicken.
Nice job.
The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club or online at flyingtclub.com.
Dave's Hot Chicken is a cult favorite and now has 2 locations in Fort Worth, Bryant Irvin Road on I-20 and Berry Street at TCU. Both owned and operated by Horned Frogs. Order the number 4 or number 5 for the tastiest lunch special under $10. Or order online at daveshotchicken.com.
Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Richard's Rainwater. Richard's Rainwater is 100% rain, refreshing, renewable, and the only ingredient we use in our water. Why rain? Because everyone deserves access to clean water, and rain is a 100% renewable resource available everywhere. Drink the rain. Save the planet. Shop now at richardsrainwater.com.
Welcome back in here to Frogs Today Daily. Thanks for joining us. Reminder, make a note of this. Our next show, Frogs Today Daily, will come to you on Sunday. So tomorrow they have a mock game at night, and then Saturday, kind of a day off for the Horned Frogs from the field. Sunday, though, we'll be back here with another show for you. So a couple of days off right now for Frogs Today Daily. Now, the big boy will still be around. Frogs Today, we'll talk about what's going to happen there coming up on Friday in a second. Right now, though, back to the interview room we go, where the veteran punter for the Horned Frogs, Jordy Sandy, the Australian, he's making his way to visit with the media right now. Let's listen in. This is Jordy Sandy.
Okay, yeah, so I played Australian football growing up, obviously back home in Australia. Kind of have to punt the ball to move around the field. It's different to rugby, contrary to popular belief. But yeah, grew up playing that, and then probably around 5 or 6 years ago, I learned about an academy in Australia called Pro Kick Academy, run by Nathan Chapman and John Smith, 2 coaches who are basically the goat of Australian punting. Basically taught me to kick spirals and punt the American style. So it took me around 6 months and had a scholarship offer originally from Texas Tech, and then at the last second they had a coaching change and TCU offered me, and I couldn't be happy that I landed here. It's a good part of the world, and I'd rather be here than in Lubbock. So something I pride myself on more so is my net yardage. So I think I had 10 return yards last year. So if there's anything, I'm trying to keep that to 0 or minus if I can, and probably bump my gross up a little bit, and hopefully get a shot at the next level. So he's a wizard. The boys call him a wizard because he's unbelievable specialist. I think his track record with specialists and special teams speaks for itself. He's been all over the country, and like some of the special teams guys he's had, the awards list is pretty long. So it's been great to spend time with him, and obviously he's made me a better punter, and just technically, and he's an unbelievable coach. Yeah, I mean, just like one-on-one, like he's with us all the time, and just like schemes and stuff, he's just, it's so hands-on, and like I said, he's been doing it a long time, so it's easy to trust a guy like that, and just the time and effort he puts into us. Like I think we'll reap the rewards from it this year. Both me and Griff and the new freshmen that have come in. So I love it here. I mean, Fort Worth's a good part of the world. I'm pretty lucky, I think, with like where I ended up. But my brother actually is married to a girl from Fort Worth, so it's kind of have family here. But yeah, everyone like around campus and like football team is just like it's a family here. I know like everyone says that wherever you are, but it truly is. It's just makes it feel like home to me, and yeah, I want to stay here once I'm done. So yeah, I feel like I've built a family here now, and yeah, that's something I look forward to. Yeah, absolutely. It's just a different vibe around this place, and I think as we move into the season, the boys are pretty excited, and it's just a good feeling around. You know, we've had a couple of tough years, and I think it's it's going to be a positive year, and hopefully the results show for themselves.
Frog punter Jordy Sandy joining us there from the interview room. I'm going to bring in David Beaudin to kind of react to what we've heard now from Mark Tommerdahl, Quentin Johnston, and also from Jordy Sandy there. It feels like, David, this was kind of a special teams focus here today for the Horned Frogs.
Yeah, that's right. You saw an emphasis on, or the start, at least the start of situational football for the Frogs, and a lot of those situations happen in unique situations happen in the kicking game. So whether that's fair catching or sky kicking, certain even on kickoffs, things like that. So you started working that mode. You also saw a lot of they opened up in 2-minute drill. They worked some screen periods and really worked 2-minute, which is a basic situation. It's going to start to grow from here. So making sure they get out of bounds in time, when to go out of bounds, when to spike the ball, take a timeout or work without any timeouts. So again, they're starting to work basic situations, and then as we grow closer into next week, it'll start to become a little bit more specific.
Okay, so am I seeing a signal of the end of camp, and are we transitioning more into Colorado preparation right now?
While we haven't had it's not the conclusion of camp just yet. Next week will be the official break from camp right before the day off next week. That'll be official. You can start to see a little bit, going from camp mode, which is, strictly base fundamentals, that sort of thing. For instance, today you saw the defense working versus some cards. You have to imagine it's Colorado up there, and so starting to work a little bit more game plan stuff as they start to hone things in. Certainly by the middle of next week, you got to imagine it'll be all Colorado, and they'll turn their attention there. But again, a lot of that between the situational football starting to work today, and then working versus some cards. You could tell game week is right around the corner, and you could just sense it on the field.
All right, that Colorado game looming ahead for the Horned Frogs on Friday, September 2nd. Good stuff there, Coach David Beaudin. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the big show, Frogs Today, will drop tomorrow. We've got a women's soccer preview we're going to have for you. We've got Southwest Conference Hall of Famer Carvin Holcomb joining us on his ride back from going into that Hall of Fame in Waco. And Bram Kohlhausen, the hero from the Alamo Bowl, along with Jim Reeves. They'll be in studio as well. Check that out coming up on Friday for the big boy Frogs Today. We're back with Frogs Today Daily coming up on Sunday, presented by Dave's Hot Chicken. Thank you to David Beaudin for being alongside, Mark Tommerdahl, Quentin Johnston, Jordy Sandy, for Jay Fitzgerald, our producer, and the entire crew here today. We're off to lunch right now. No fries today for me. Yeah, it's Thursday. Going to take Friday off. Yeah, we'll do that.
Frogs Today Daily, presented by Dave's Hot Chicken, is a production of Roxo Media House.
Roxo Media House.